Welcome everyone, this is Code with Us. I'm back here with another Java tutorial. This time we'll be covering how to use arrays. So what are arrays? Well, I'm assuming you've seen the other tutorials on how to use variables, right? Well, arrays are basically collections of different data types or even objects, but we'll not concentrate on objects right now. What they allow you to do is have, let's say, strings, for example, and you can put them all in one array rather than having to write out each string. Maybe you probably don't understand that, but I mean, it will become clearer in the video, and hopefully towards the end of the video you will understand how to use arrays. Well, alright, so let's begin with a demonstration on how you create an array. First you decide which data type your array is going to be. I mean, this could be anything. This could be string, it could be int, it could be double, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's up to what you want to store. So let's just do strings for now. Alright, so now you've decided that you want to use strings for this array. Okay, so how do you tell Java that this is going to be an array? Well, what you do is you get your square brackets and you put a set of square brackets like this. Now Java will know, okay, you're going to be dealing with arrays. Cool. So now that we know, well, now that Java knows it's going to be arrays, let's give it a name. So we say, I don't know, we can say, we're going to use constructs, easy, like, let's say fruits. So we have an array of strings which will deal with a whole bunch of different strings. And we're going to call it fruits. And now we're going to say equals new string. It's going to give you an error, but we have to give it a value. So we say 5. This means that now our array is going to be able to store up to 5 string values inside. So fruits will be able to store 5 values inside. So let's start with how to store values in an array. There's different ways on which you can do this. I mean, this is just the first way. I'll show you another way soon after, but let's begin with this first. So you say fruits because that's the name of our array, and we say, alright, we're going to say in an array basically you have these things that are called indexes. And each index is basically a storage space, like a variable, where you can put your value. So in this case it would be a string because we have an array of strings, and we have 5 indexes because we have an array with a length of 5. We can store 5 values inside. I mean, I'll show you a visual representation of this. I don't know if this works, but you can see right now, if you imagine an array as a row of boxes, because we have 5, we would only go up to where it says orange. Right now this would demonstrate an array that has a length of 7, or it has 7 indexes, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Computers start counting at 0, so that's something you should be aware of. The first index is not going to be index 1, it's going to be index 0. That is why we only go up to 4. But yeah, this is a visual demonstration of how an array, you can imagine an array to be like, if you was to picture one in your head. Okay, so now add more to this array. We want to add our values. So let's add the first value. Remember, computer start at 0, so the 0 index in fruits, I want to add something. I want to add a string. I'm going to add, let's say, apple. Fruits, number 1. I'm going to add pear. Fruits, 2. I'm going to add for the third one, take a fruit, an orange. Okay. Final one, we are going to give it mango. Okay, so now we have 5 fruits that we've successfully stored in our array. How would we now output this array, right? Or a value in this array, let's say, for example. Well, you know that this array has indexes. So how you would access any of these is by the index. So you got to know which index your whatever value you want to access is going to be in. So what we could do is we can say, alright, s out, and instead of quotes, we just say fruits, and we say the index. So I don't know, let's say, what do you want to output? Let's say we want to output bananas, which is an index 2, right? Or, yeah. Alright guys, so to print out this array, we just put the index 2, and this should print out banana. Just print 1. Yeah, as you can see, printed out banana. If we wanted to print out another index, we could just concatenate as a string. So let's say we want to print mango out as well. So we say fruits. Now we'll print out banana and mango. In fact, let's just print out, well, we added the orange and mango. Let's change that to 3, and you click run. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, it printed out the 3rd and 4th index of the array. Now, that's pretty much how you print out an array, but this is not the only way. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not the only way in which you can create an array like this. You can actually do all of this in just one line. And so if I show you how to do, I'll show you how to do that now. I'll just say string, an array of strings, give it a name, fruits, is equal to, and then we put these, what would you call these, curly brackets, I guess. Anyway, add our 5 indexes, or our 5 values for this array, and we just put it again as apple, pear, banana, is it orange, and finally mango, right? So now if we do it again, if we print out, right, we already know how to print an array out. When you write an array like this, it saves you the trouble of actually having to write a value of how big the array is. You just directly put how many elements you want in that array, which is kind of cool. As well as when you do this, you don't have to write out each element in its line. For example, like here, you don't have to do this. So when it comes to printing out arrays, it's all the same. You treat apple as the 0 index here, so 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 as the 4th index. So if we print 3 and 4, we expect to print the 3rd index and the 4th index, which is orange and mango, like it did before. We click run, we should print orange and mango. Let's just change that quickly to 2 and 0. 0, so what's the 0 index? Apple, and what's the 2nd index? It's banana, so this will print out apple and banana. Apple and banana. What will happen, if you would get an error, if you do something like this and you try and print out the 5th element of an array, this doesn't have a 5th index, or an index, or the 5th index, yeah. So if we do this, it will give us an error because it cannot find the index. There you go. Exception, array index out of bounds. So it's out of the bounds of the array. The array doesn't have this index, so that's what it's telling you there. So yeah, that's how you print out an array. And this is just another way of writing an array. So in terms of arrays, that is pretty much the basics for arrays anyway. So what I advise is you keep practicing with this, learn how to use arrays. Learn the first way, where you do something like this. So you create your array. You can either do this in 2 separate lines or 1 line. It's entirely up to you. Like this. You can practice and make some arrays of your own. Like this, it can be anything. I mean, you can put cars in there, you can put food in there, you can put fruits like I did, you can put a name of some of your friends, I don't know. Even maybe if you have enough ex-girlfriends, you can put your ex-girlfriend's names in there. You can literally put anything you want in arrays. So what I advise is you just keep practicing until you've mastered how to use arrays, and then you look forward to the next tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, comment, rate, and subscribe, leave any comments of anything if you didn't understand anything, and Brad or I will get back to you when we can.